What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum. I've got two quick things that I want to show you today. They are somewhat related. The first of which is a mail day here, and you actually saw a version of this card on the channel not long ago. See, it's just packing. But this is a nicer version of that. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, well, and actually the seller threw in some extras here, which was very nice. So the seller threw in this TJ leaf plate, which was not what I purchased from him. And this is a fellow Pacers fan, Pathora card, so thank you, Pathora cards. Also threw in this TJ leaf startups. Is that Cornerstones? I think it's a Cornerstones insert. Very cool. So this is the card that I bought, though. And this is from 2021 Donruss Elite. And this is this last version of they had the status parallels and the aspirations parallels. I've talked about those a lot before. I really got into those, even though those have existed for years now. I really got into them more so with the 2017 and 2018 status releases. And the idea is that the status parallel is numbered out of the player's jersey number. So this one is out of 11, and I try to get the bookend one at the end. So I like if it's Malcolm Brogdon, 7 out of 7. If it's Sabonis here, 11 out of 11. And this year's version were so ugly that I told myself, you know what, maybe I'm not going to go for these, because it's just, they did the red and the green thing. I think they were trying to do this PMG, kind of a nod to PMG, but the cards themselves were kind of ugly. So I passed on this when I originally had a chance on it, but the more I got to researching, this picture is from a game that I went to in Tampa against the Raptors. So I decided, you know what, I'm definitely going to pull the trigger on that because it has some continuity with the rest of my collection. So you can see a little bit bigger version of that picture there. So thank you, Dean, for making this available, and then also being patient with me when I decided I actually wanted it. And for the awesome extras here. Usually you don't get a printing plate thrown in with the purchase, so thank you so much, Dean. Now, the second card I want to show you is one that I've had for a while, but I said it was related to that Sabonis because it's another card that I was at this game, and this was a Pacers Magic game in Orlando. This card is from 2018 Prism Mosaic. This is the gold version here. And, I looked at this picture and I thought, you know what, that background looks very familiar. I know they wore those uniforms when I saw them in Orlando. So I did a little bit digging, and I could not find an exact match for this photo, but there were some context clues in here that led me to believe that I did, in fact, see this game. So I'm going to take you through that process. And one thing about Panini cards here, a lot of times on the back, you'll see a better version of the picture with more background. So I'm going to take you through that process here so you can see that for yourself, how I figured this out. So I'm going to switch over to the computer feed, and then we'll get going. Okay, so as I mentioned here, and you can see on Getty Images, this picture from the Mosaic card, when I sort by Miles Turner, is not on there. There's some shots that look kind of similar, but he was dribbling the ball. So those shots are not on there. But I still felt reasonably certain that this was, in fact, from the same game. So I'm going to pull that card up here on ComC, or a similar version of it, so you can see that once again. You can see the front there. We'll also take a look at the back. Like I said, the back gives you more of the context. Now, one of the things that I noticed in here, I'm looking for big clues. So I see some people in the crowd in Pacers shirts. Here's a Pacers jersey up here. Here's a stanchion that has website listed, and it's got an advertisement for Kia. And a big thing that you'll notice here is that Miles Turner is wearing a mask. And Miles Turner doesn't normally wear a mask. So you know that there has to be a reason for that, and that's something that we can date. We can go back and look at pictures of games. What games did he wear the mask? What games did he not? And I even found an article here because I remember Miles breaking his nose. So I found this article from February 21st of 2019 that says Miles Turner is ditching the mask. And in that article, it talks about how He suffered that broken nose on December 31st. And so you know there's a reasonable time frame that he was wearing that, basically from December 31st until February 21st. So my next step then, and I know I'm using a lot of tools here, but my next step is I go to Basketball Reference and I pull up the game logs. And I've got some of this stuff pulled up already to streamline this a little bit. But if you need help, I can show you more of the process if you'll message me. But anyway, I looked at the games in this time span here, and like I said, it was December 31st. So he broke that nose here. Looks like he tried to play with it in the Chicago game a little bit, missed some games because of that injury, and then ended up playing all of these games here until the 21st when that article came out, and then he had some inactive games there. So basically, we're looking in this time span right here. And if you'll notice, he only played 2 games in Orlando the entire season. One of them was in December, so that was before he was wearing the mask, so that's December 7th. And then the other one was this game that I think it is once again, which is January 31st. So that tells me, okay, I've matched all the timelines up here. The only thing I have left to do is match something in the crowd and that card with game pictures that shows me definitively this has to be the exact same game. So I went once again back to Getty Images, and remember I showed you those things earlier. The guys wearing the Pacers shirts in the crowd, the stanchion, all of those things to try to match these up. And you'll also notice that the arena seats were blue. They're not blue in Indiana, not the same, at least not the same shade of blue. So I had to go through, all right, how am I going to figure this out here? So I started looking at photos. I said, you know what, the stanchion is the biggest thing for me. So there's one with the stanchion here, but it's pretty far off. It looks like it has that Kia advertisement, but I'm going to keep looking because I want to see if I can find a better shot. So I'm going through again and again. And obviously I've done this beforehand, so I can kind of skim some of these a little bit quicker, but I was looking at them in a lot of detail. So here's one where I can see the bottom of the stanchion, but it looks like a similar angle to that Miles Turner. It's a Bojan Bogdanovic photo. So if I look at this, I notice a few key things here. All right, so let me look at the stanchion. Let me look for some people in the crowd to see if I can match them up. I see a gray Pacers jersey there. I see a guy with a beard and glasses with a Pacers shirt there. I see, looks like a Pacers jersey up there. So I'm going to go back to this mosaic card and see if I can find any of those people. Well, there's the gentleman with the glasses and the Pacers shirt. I can't see the guy in the gray Pacers jersey because he's blocked out here if he's in this picture. And then also with his arms folded up here, here's the guy in the gold and yellow. So, you know, it's very unlikely that these people were at multiple Orlando games in the exact same spot, in the exact same gear. Like I said, Miles has got that mask on in Orlando for only this game. So using my context clues here, I can conclude, yes, this mosaic photo is from a game that I went to. Now, I wonder, where are they getting these photos if they're not getting them from Getty? And who knows, like I've said in other videos, maybe they have relationships with the photographers. But anyway, there's some insight on how I use context clues in the backgrounds of photos sometimes to determine if it's a card from a game that I went to. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, remember there are new episodes of the audio podcast that come out every Thursday. And thanks for watching.